Alright, g'day. Welcome to the Outside Man podcast.
Sup?
G'day.
You Peter Russell Clark.
G'day.
How you going? Oh no, it's not Peter Russell Clark. No. Oh no, he was a guy. Do you remember watching him on TV do the cooking, the 5-minute cooking episode before dinner?
I remember Huey.
It was Peter. G'day.
Oh yeah. Ready, steady cook?
No, before that. He was the OG. Anyway, g'day everyone. Welcome to the Outside Man podcast. My name's Jed, and we're the what are we?
Outside Man
podcast. The armchair experts
that's
for rugby league.
Cut.
I'm leaving all this in.
No, leave it in. This is good. This is quality. This is what our fans want. Jed, play on.
All right, go Jed.
Our fans haven't actually said what they want.
Alright, g'day guys. This is the Outside Man podcast, where we talk all things rugby league. How are we going, guys?
I got 2 points this week. So.
You got 2 points?
I got a nap.
I got disenfranchised.
Yep. My team had the bye, so I'm happy.
My team's got a bye this week.
Another bye.
Make up
Let me guess, you got another bye this week too, probably.
No.
How many buys do the Roosters get?
Getting
Do
well
they even
looked
play
after
footy
in
anymore?
Origin.
Look, if we can pay other people, I don't know where I'm going with this, but anyway,
You can pay other people. That's the thing.
I need
It's
to take
not
my
a job.
jumper off. It's getting awful.
Uncle Nick does that all the time.
Alright.
Look at this nonsense. Can you see that?
What is this?
West
West
Tigers.
Go the Tigers!
Oh, you're on a new team every year. Week.
Alright.
Anyway,
team.
Now-
let's talk about rugby league, shall we?
Yes, Cal, you've got a controversy.
Are we
Go
going
straight into it.
Yep,
Straight
we're straight
in
into it.
Did you do the like and share and?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe. We need all the views that we can get because, yeah, we're on desperate times.
Give us a follow if you're listening on Spotify
The
as well.
income
All
stops.
helps out. Anyway, let's get on. So, those of you who have been following along at home,
Yeah.
we like to do a little segment called Controversy Corner.
Yes.
Which ironically doesn't always have a controversy.
Sometimes it's just a little whinge.
Oh, we're always in the corner.
It's a soapbox that we just like to have a little bit of a whinge about. But yeah, we are always in the corner, so yeah, good call.
All right, let's do that transition now. All right, who's got the controversy?
I'll go. I got a little one.
All right.
The Titans Cowboys game. Not about the game because it was an absolute rubbish game, but
I can agree.
in the 15th or 16th minute, Sam Verrills got a poke in the eye, and literally just a poke in the eye, sort of footage, you get a poke in the eye, and that hurts, right? The trainer goes tap, tap, tap on the head, free interchange, gets HIA, gets to go off the field. Obviously passes his HIA, comes back on, and I checked, the Titans only used 5 of their 8 interchanges.
Why? Our guys were so gassed.
And fair enough, like, they can use as many as they want, but and HIA, that is blatantly, and commentators picked it up, that is blatantly, and Titans are not the only, I'm not having to go at the Titans here, they're not the only team that do it, but that is blatantly cheating the rule of HIA for an eye poke.
It was very obvious.
And
Yeah.
they're not the only team, because I've seen other teams right around the 20-minute mark, I've seen trainers go, oh yeah, it's HIA, yeah, you're going to have to go off, and it's conveniently a forward that...
The independent doctor took drink water off for a slap on the chin.
Slap on the chin. And the thing that bugs me about that is that the trainer was assessed himself, said, oh, he's definitely HIA. I think in those situations, the independent doctor should step and say, hang on a minute, that's a poke in the eye. That's not HIA.
Is that because it is a head injury?
No, well, head injury assessment is for a head knock, right?
Well, you'd
Is
hope
it?
so, but it's not, is it?
Yeah.
Head injury. Maybe they were flaunting the rules. Maybe there's a loophole.
Okay, if
there or
someone
something,
pulls
but-
Luai's hair, can he go off for HIA? That's a part of his head.
Well, he had a whinge about it for
Yeah.
6 weeks.
But you know what I mean? Like, that's just
Yeah.
blatantly... And because it was a forward, too, I bet you if that was a fullback, there would have been no HIA there. So my little gripe, my little controversy this week is fix it up, NRL. They should have said... Someone should have noticed that and said, hey, no, we're putting that down as a full interchange, not as a HIA.
Yeah.
Agreed.
That's all I got.
I've got a bit of a talking point.
Let's do it.
Ooh, talking.
So
points.
it's an open end.
Do you want
question.
another transition to a talking point?
No.
we'll do that next week.
So I must admit, with that, Titans and Cowboys game, I only watched about half of it. It was an absolute rubbish game. Now, my thing is that...
It was primetime TV on a Sunday afternoon.
no.
We did all talk about that.
We called this.
No, that's not my issue. That's not my issue. So, it seems like every year, there's only, like, probably Panthers, Roosters, Storm, those 4 or 5 teams are the only teams that can kind of win the premiership.
Sharks.
Yeah, Sharks.
Bulldogs.
But yeah, Bulldogs. But it always seems like that teams like the Tigers, Titans, they're always sort of running last. So
yeah, but did anyone talk about talk about the Sharks for 40 years while they were in the drought, or the Rabbitohs? Although the Rabbitohs did get relegated, didn't they? For a bit?
Let me finish my point. So what do we have to do as a game to bring those other teams up so that they're at least competing?
Relegation league.
No, relegation is not the key.
It is 100%
supporter
the key.
base, helping create positivity.
Yeah.
With social media, there's so much crap going on. Like Damien Cook talking about social media, and people on social media banging on about Kyle and Shane Flanagan.
Oh, that was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they all cop it. And that affects their mental health.
Oh, you're
and then
saying
that affects their performance as well.
Okay.
I don't think that what that guy said. He was just giving his opinion. He's allowed to give his opinion.
Oh no! It was bad.
What did he say?
It was in a different language.
A different language.
Whatever they translated it to, I don't remember what it said.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's supporter base, positivity in the media. Like, the media is always first to jump on something negative and try and get the clicks, and that all brings it. That brings them down.
I'm talking more of a talent thing, though.
No, Jed.
It's not a talent thing.
Can I can put this convo to bed straight
But
up.
why do we always have the talent go to those couple of teams?
It's
What do you
their
mean?
systems.
The Panthers have got no talent anymore.
Yeah,
All their talent's gone. It was playing for the opposition.
You guys are not.
Okay, Jed, here's some proof for you. Look at 5th place, the Broncos. They have 8 wins.
Yep.
Let's go 6th place, all right? Stretch it out a bit further. The Roosters has 7 wins. Titans in last place only, they have 4 wins. They're 3 wins away from 6th place. We have one of the closest competitions.
Yeah, okay.
I know you let me finish now. We have one of the closest competitions in the world for sport. Let's jump to the Super League ladder right now. 12th place, they only have 12 teams. The Red Devils have won 1 game. The team in 5th have won 10 games. You want to talk about disparity of talent? That's a disparity of talent. The NRL, there's 3 games difference between the Titans, who sit 17th, and the Roosters, who sit 5th.
But you missed
6th.
Jed's point. Jed's point was, why are these teams the ones that are always low, and why can't
because
they
of the
get
way
back
that
up?
because of the way that the teams, the clubs are structured and run.
Okay.
So you look at the Titans. Would you say Matt? You're a Titans fan. Would you say that the way the Titans are run has been the way a club should have been run? Compare them to, like, say, the Roosters or the Storm. If you look at the top teams, the way the CEO and the heads of football run their clubs is phenomenal. Would you say you're happy with the way the Titans are run?
I would like to look into it more, but from the outside looking in, there's definite issues there around coaching, and the talent acquisition is not the problem. We have had so much talent over the years. They just come to the coast to have a holiday. That's the problem. Whereas you look at, Titans are trying to do it Roosters and buy talent, right? Whereas Penrith, Broncos in the early days, they would be developing their pathways. Storm is another great one. Storm don't just see a player and go, oh, he's a good player, let's sign him. They go through his history, his schooling, they look at report cards, they look at what comments the teachers have made about this person, their standing in the community, all of those things when they pick these players. Whereas, do the Titans do that? I don't know if the Titans do that. Is there issues within the club with the players not gelling or meshing? We've got, on the Gold Coast, we've got Kariba Park State High School, which is it's like the nursery for NRL stars. And it's in our back. And Currumbin and Miami. That is the hot spot for NRL talent.
Palm Beach.
Why are we not getting them in the Titans?
Yeah.
And it can't be a money thing because the money, we got salary cap.
All right, Carl.
I like the point that maybe somewhere in their recruiting, they were like, come to the Gold Coast. We've got great beaches, great nightlife, great whatever.
Probably true.
If you're going to Canberra, it's like come to Canberra, you're going to play football.
In the cold.
Like, come to Melbourne, you're going to play football. It's not like come to Melbourne and, so I think maybe there was something in that. And you think of the players they got, like Dave Taylor, Greg Bird, like Proctor, they all had off-field issues. Not that most clubs have off-field issues, but maybe that there is something
It's
there.
also injuries too. Like when you put when you let go of players that are performing really well because you want to keep a young guy that's coming up, but then that young guy gets injured, and then the guy that you let go goes to Canberra and he's having a standout career, or he goes to the Bulldogs and he's probably going to win a premiership this year.
Sexton to the Sharks is a great move.
Drop Nico.
Drop Nico.
Yeah, can I just ask Carl?
You can ask Carl. I don't know if he'll listen.
So why do you think that the Cowboys have only played in 3 grand finals in 30 years since 95?
Jonathan Thurston.
Literally.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
that's why they got to 3.
So how many grand finals have the Sharks played in the last 30 years? Jess, roughly?
1.
Roughly?
Yeah.
I can tell you exactly.
Well, didn't you play 97?
Yeah.
Oh, Super League?
Super League.
Are we keeping that?
So why?
Yeah.
So
They're the
they've only played in 2. One, but almost 2. You could go through a list of these clubs that have not made the grand final. There's 17 clubs. There's only 2 grand finalists every year.
Well, Warriors.
It's not Melbourne Manly.
And if you're talking like you saw the revenue figures come out last week about the big clubs, the Broncos make so much money. I mean, if there's someone we should be talking about probably underachieving for the size of the club, it's probably the Broncos because they are the most successful club and they deserve to push for Friday night games or games when they want because they sell the most tickets, they make the most money, but they're probably underachieved. But you look at Melbourne, you look at the Roosters, they're always thereabouts. The Cowboys just aren't as big as those clubs. Like they're just a small town club. Like that Townsville only has 150,000 people.
Okay.
And so for that reason by itself, like I think we punch above our weight. And if you look at like a lot of the Sydney teams, they're all nestled in within each other anyway. So their supporter base, Sydney has how many million people? 6 million, 7, whatever it is. But you've got 9 or 10 different teams that you've got to share that population with as well. So I actually see your perspective, but I love our competition. Like I think not every team can be up in the top 4 every year, and the bigger clubs will have a greater chance of getting there.
Yeah. I think a genuine, if we're not going to do relegation, I think a genuine reserve grade side would grow more talent.
Yeah.
Because you're like...
Reserve grade competition or...
Yeah. So, like, you have a reserve grade play before the main grade. So, guys there's a guy, Sullivan, who's in the Dolphins, who is a grand final winning halfback. And he can't... Sean, he can't get a run at the Dolphins. But if they had a reserve grade team, he'd be playing every week. Like, he probably plays in Q Cup, but it's not the same.
So you're talking like all 17 teams
have a reserve grade.
I like that.
And they used to have it, and then the guys that played that would sit on the bench. Then you could have 6 subs, like Jeb's idea, and just have a couple of guys sitting there.
Because I actually remember going to the 2004 grand final and watching Jamie Soward play reserve grade for the Dragons.
Oh, wow.
And when I saw him play, I was like, this guy's a first grader.
Yeah.
And then didn't you go to the 2010 grand final when he won it for the Dragons?
Yeah.
How ironic would that have been?
Yeah, well, I saw Jack Bird, Holmes, Chad Townsend, all of them when they played for the reserve Sharks side. Chad Townsend had more points himself than entire teams that year. Because he was the goal kicking halfback.
It's actually a really good talking point.
Superstar.
Yeah.
Because it broadens your horizons to the scope of rugby league. It's not just teams that get out there and play. There is a lot more behind the scenes.
And you think, Katoa, the Dolphins' superstar halfback, was just sitting at Penrith behind 3 other, behind Cole, Schneider, whoever, Cogger, O'Sullivan.
Yeah.
But he was in there.
He was behind them as well.
Yeah.
Like...
That's why we need more teams.
No.
Spread it out.
We're going to 20. Like that is the goal. Like that, we
Yeah,
will get to 20.
I don't agree with that, but that's for a late night edition.
The Hobart's Hornet Nest.
That's actually really good point, Jetty. I like it.
So I've got another talking point.
Oh.
I don't know if we should save it for Origin or not, but the Maroons teams, the teams lists come out, and one of the notable ins, the most shocking thing in the 45-year history of Origin, Shibasaki gets picked for the Maroons, and the media's making out like it's the most shocking thing ever.
Not one person that I've spoken to has gone, oh, that surprised me.
It didn't surprise me at all.
Like
he's been playing phenomenal footy. Oh yeah, the shocking thing for me is that he was on a training trial. I don't know what his
the more shocking
now.
thing would be Reece Walsh didn't get in.
That's what I found.
No.
Then Shibasaki got in.
Yeah, because I think that the hammer's more suited towards
No, I'm not surprised with that.
It shocked
wing
me
or centre.
to see Shibasaki in there, only because I didn't expect Reece Walsh to not get picked. That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, when I heard Shibasaki, I'm like, yeah, fair enough. But I'm like, and then when I saw Reece Walsh, I'm like, wow.
Reece is in at 18th man.
I was shocked for a different reason.
Look at his last couple of years though.
He's playing injured too, Reece.
He's playing injured.
Yeah.
He's a target.
It makes sense.
He got smashed like 2 weeks ago, like really big hit. He got smashed last year. He got smashed the year before. He's been playing with injuries. His confidence has been battered.
And you can bet
Would you
your
risk him
life.
going out playing fullback, having the first hit up, and
In
then
Sydney.
some grub on the Blues, Liam Martin comes out, takes his head off,
You can bet your life.
and then
they
he's
would
gone
target
for the
him.
rest
Yeah.
of the game.
You can bet your life that's exactly what they would do to try and get him.
Solis return.
It's actually really smart from Billy.
Yeah.
Talent-wise, I look at Reece and probably go, I'd probably prefer him for his all-round game. I'm not saying Hammer's not talented at all,
Yeah.
but Billy's gone, there's less smoke on Hammer.
Yeah. The only thing with,
But it's do you need someone to create a chance, or do you need someone to finish off a chance? And
Well,
that's the difference, isn't
it's a
it?
good
Hammer
point.
will turn half a chance into a try. Reece
Hammer's
Walsh
also
will probably
been-
create a try.
Hammer's also been consistent in Origin.
Yeah.
Yes.
But not in NRL.
However, his defence
Sucks.
is not.
But he's
not
at the
best
back.
at times.
Positional play
Yeah.
hasn't
No.
been the greatest.
Yeah, he's at the back there.
Anyway,
And while we're talking about Queensland selection, what do you think about Josh Papali'i getting selected?
are we transitioning into Origin chat straight away?
We may as
Let me
well.
put a transition in and we'll talk about Origin. State of Origin game 3 is coming up next week.
Yes.
Teams lists have been announced. If you're watching at home, you would have just heard us talking about a bit of Origin. Jed, carry on from your point
Yes,
before the
I
transition.
will. What do you think about Josh Papali'i getting selected? Was it a sign of desperate times, do you think, for Billy? Because there's not enough talent in the forwards, and do you think it's a good selection?
I think it's a good selection. He's been playing great footy. He's got so much experience. I was a little bit surprised that they went with an older guy.
Yeah.
But, you look at Mo, who he's replacing. Mo has been good, but hasn't been
Yeah.
at the best. And then who do you put in that's not there? Corey Horsburgh.
Yeah.
He's been good for most of the games, but then he's also come back from reserve grade. He's got
Yeah.
a little bit of niggles in his games here and there. Who else is there?
I know what Billy's doing. On paper, we said this before game 1, the Blues are so stacked and that this series was going to be a write-off. And I'll say it again, at the end of game 3, if we sit here and go New South Wales won, Queensland lost, we'll go, yeah, well, we all saw that happening on paper.
Yeah.
But if we sit here and we go Queensland won, New South Wales lost, that's like 2020 all over again. How did this happen? So what Billy's trying to do here, I reckon, in my opinion, is he's seen the talent difference between the Blues and the Maroons at the moment. It's not a forever thing, but just at the moment. He's trying to create a storyline for the Maroons. It's the old-fashioned ambush, bit of emotion behind it, bringing Papali'i back. Shibasaki, oh my God, no one saw that happening. What? He didn't pick Reece Walsh? He's creating a storyline that the Maroons, because we all love the underdog, that's who we are as Maroons. He's creating a storyline that we can all... Because after game 1, we were all sitting here going, series is over, series is done and dusted. there's some belief in Queensland now.
Yep.
And these guys here, this guy sitting next to me, is all they're thinking about is the 2020 series when they got wiped off the face of the planet by the worst Queensland team in Origin. This is not this team now. We're not the worst team ever.
Yeah.
But there's ambush. Can you smell it?
Yeah.
It
really started in the first Origin when Artie Beetson got picked in reserve grade.
Yeah.
And New South Wales were supposedly the hot favourites.
Yeah.
But because we have more of a heart...
Can you smell it, Matt?
I can feel the Origin spirit. It's rising up.
Because there's no pressure on Queensland.
No.
It's not ours to win.
Everyone's written them off anyway.
We're gone.
Yep.
They celebrated the series
They're
win
like
after game
second
one.
worst team ever.
We're just...
They shouldn't win. They shouldn't win.
All right, Jace.
Now, Jason,
have your rebuttal.
you're boiling
Let's go,
up
Jason.
like a fried egg.
Go, Jace.
I couldn't care less.
Oh, that means that's a
Which
concession
means
of defeat.
he cares.
It's just all excuses.
Excuses.
No, the Blues will win. Blues will win by a lot. Don't worry.
That's what we want them to think, hey?
Jason, if you're so proud New South Walesman, why don't you live there?
Because all my family live here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I chose to live with my family, not on my own.
No, but in all seriousness, what it has done is it's ramped the excitement level up for Game 3, right? Hasn't it?
Brought some excuses in case you
Yeah.
lose.
No, we're going to blame the refs if we lose. Cause
Yeah, but you know what? Even if we do lose 50
If you
to 6,
have a
hang on,
9-0 penalty count, you are welcome to...
yeah, it's still
anyway,
even if-
that's got a point. Listen.
Even if we lose 50 to 6, we still stopped you getting a streak.
Yeah, that's all we care
And
about.
that's all that matters.
That's all we care about.
It's fed the New South Wales team and the state with doubt. Doubt that they don't
Actually,
really get Origin.
Gus
or
said
the
that
Origin
last
spirit.
night. He said that on 100% footy. He said,
He said that Origin is about spirit, or not Origin is Queensland spirit.
we don't,
For the record.
New South Wales don't get Origin, so you just get...
We got it in game 1, didn't we? Hey?
Well,
Yeah, but like,
Pretty sure you won the series
should
in
have.
game 1.
New South
Score
Wales just
more
don't get
points.
Origin.
We won last
No, they get
year.
Origin, they just get panicked.
Yeah, I know.
Because they're so much better than us on paper. But
We might not get goal kicking at the moment. Alright?
Yeah, that's a fair call.
Alright. We haven't kicked a goal since game 3 last year, but yeah. Anyway.
All
right,
Who
cut.
you pick?
All right, we're going to take a quick ad break,
Are we?
Alright.
and then we'll get into last
Jed's the
round's
boss.
game.
Jed's moving on. Alright, so the game of the year.
Oh, for sure.
The greatest game we have seen. We have finally seen some defence. We thought that everything had changed, but Panthers 8 points to Bulldogs 6. The talking point of this game is Nathan Cleary must have abs of steel. He did a charge down for a Matty Burton kick that probably would have broken everybody's rib
That would have
cage.
snapped me in
Oh,
half.
yeah. Burton wasn't holding back either.
And yet Cleary ran through and scored the try and celebrated afterwards. I noticed he didn't kick the ball in the air though.
Yeah.
So there is a leg injury there.
I think
But
groin.
uh,
I think he's got a groin injury.
yes,
Must have hit his chin.
Oh, okay.
That's what happened.
Andrew
got the chin.
Voss said something to that effect.
Did-
after the
did he?
game. Yeah.
What did he say? He said, they're up to their chins or something. I don't know. It was a great call.
Nose and chins in
I
front
wish I
or something
remember
like
it.
that.
Quickly on completion rate, 86. The Panthers, Jed, you must be nervous after riding them off all year and reminding us about it.
Now they're in 8, Jed.
They are completing.
You
at
said they wouldn't make
86%.
it. So what this means,
Yeah.
you
what
go.
this means is Jed cannot do another prediction.
Why is that?
The last 7 have not come true.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
So
moving
you are
on.
banned.
No, he's banned from making
Outrageous.
outrageous.
But just any bets.
Any bets?
Interestingly, the play the ball speed was 3.07 seconds to the Panthers and
That's-
3.6 to the Dogs. A lot quicker, so they had a quicker ruck speed.
What's our important
And
stat?
the stat that matters is 19 dummies to the
19
Panthers
dummies!
to 8 for the Dogs. Dogs.
Dog, you
Okay,
gotta step up
Why
your dummy game.
in the 79th minute did they not choose to kick for goal and went for the try?
Why wouldn't they kick a 2-point field goal at any point?
Burton could kick them from 100
Yeah.
out. Why
I guess
wouldn't
'cause
they?
it was
They had a
wide
penalty.
out.
30. It was a long way out.
can
But
I
They
just
said
say-
something about having 2 left foot kickers.
Oh yeah,
That's what they said.
yeah. Can I just say, the Bulldogs looked panicked at times throughout the game, and this Penrith game specifically, not talking about the rest of this year, this game was reminiscent of the previous 4 years Penrith.
Well,
and I could see that glimpse coming through, and I could hear the cries of adulation that the Penrith are back. They're gonna win the premiership.
Some of those boys in the previous game, in that Warriors game, seem to have come of age. Like Casey McLean.
Yeah, game before.
The Warriors game without the Origin boys did a lot for them. The Garner as well. What
I will say though, is it concerning for Penrith that their only try came off a charge down?
No, because the Bulldogs were...
The defense.
Connor Tracy's defence was exceptional.
Oh, he was awesome.
He saved some tries that
Yeah.
not too many other fullbacks are going to say.
I think this actually echoes my point in Controversy Corner last week where I said any team in the top 8 can win it this year. And I said to you, some of these teams in the top 4 will have slip-ups. And I think this is the perfect example of why this year's final series will be as close as ever. Because we saw 8v1, 8 beat team number 1. And I think throughout this final series, we're going to see a few results like this. It was like, we didn't see that coming, but we should have seen that coming kind of thing.
And also for the Dogs, I'm not really liking the Lachlan Galvin thing. Like, he just doesn't fit into their system.
They didn't look comfortable when he came on.
Yeah.
No.
And that was a bit of that panicky thing.
Yeah.
And if we're going to think of a player who's never played a big game, well, the Tigers have never played a big game. So Galvin's definitely never played a big game.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see what they do with that.
And probably Toby Sexton, for that matter, as well.
Well, he was with them last year.
Yeah.
So he would have gone into the finals.
They only played
one
a
final
few,
last
but
year. I thought the Penrith boys in Canterbury would have stood up a bit, but they didn't take the goal. They didn't take a field goal.
Manly knocked them out in the first week last year, so it's not like they have, apart from the players that have it, they don't have that much. But it was definitely game of the year so far. Like, it was edgy. You see it kind of. It was one of, like you said last week. It was one of those games. Where it was like I kept wanting to go to bed, but I couldn't just. It was just like
that's what you want. You don't want a blowout where both teams score 38 points. You know, it is fun watching guys get the tries and do all that, but when you like next points will win this game, even though there's 30 minutes to go.
And especially when it's so low, there's been no tries. It's just it was.
All right, the next game, Manly beating the Tigers, 28-10. I missed this game.
Good, because it was absolutely shocking.
Oh, really?
It was the first half. I'm like, this is not fit for television. Like, they put something else on because it was so bad. And then Manly decided to come out in the second half, score a few tries. But even then, it was not pretty. It was like an embarrassment for rugby league.
And Tigers had a lot of ball, and they just they ended up changing it because the service from dummy half was terrible, and Appy was just not.
Wasn't he
coping?
Playing? He was centre.
7.
He was playing 7.
And
about the 35th minute, I think it was, they moved Appy back to dummy half because it just was not.
And Dewey went into the halves.
Was not working.
And Dewey looked really good. I'm like,
he is a great. Well, my son, who's never seen Dewey play in the halves, was like, "Oh, he's actually a good
Dewey's
player."
Great.
He that try that he put on for Seafar,
Didn't
that was great.
De Silva, he went to the Eels.
He's gone.
He's gone now.
He's getting out of there. I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
So they've left their 2 most promising players go.
We've got a problem.
Tigers have a problem.
What's the problem?
Even dummies.
15 dummy passes each. What do we do? Flip a coin? We'll have to give it to the Manly Sea Eagles. Honestly, let's not talk about stats because it wasn't the game to deserve talking about stats. The only thing, missed tackles was pretty even, 25 to 30. Errors 14 to 8.
The missed tackles were low considering it was such a bad game.
Manly won't play finals this year, I don't think. That's what
or
I'm
if
saying.
they do, they get bombed out.
So, as always, it depends on Turbo.
Yeah, but
if Turbo comes back...
He's back.
He ends up... No, like really back.
Yeah.
Ends up at fullback. back to be fullback.
I like Kopawati though. He's a good fullback.
Yeah, but if Turbo is fit and uninjured,
Yeah.
he's elite,
Yes.
not good.
Yeah.
All right, next game. Newcastle going down to the Raiders, 22-18.
This was a good game, I thought, in my own opinion.
Yep.
Knights looked like they were going to come away with it in the end.
They were coming back, but the Raiders had already...
They had full control, I think, the Raiders.
They already had
I think the first half, the
felt
Raiders...
like they'd done enough.
Yeah.
It's a bit worrying for them. I think this is the third week they've let tries in at the end.
But
They
they haven't exactly played the higher teams where I think you do fire up against the better teams.
Well, they did fire up against Melbourne, remember? And
Yeah.
Fogarty.
They're all
kicked the goal. Another Titans halfback.
Yeah. Oh, he was one of the ones I was alluding to earlier.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
They're all about equality at the Knights and Raiders. So the Knights had 30 minutes and 9 seconds of possession, and the Raiders had 30 minutes and 2 seconds of possession. So it was 50-50. They completed at 80 and 83%.
So what happened to the other 20 minutes?
To play the ball speed, good question. Play the ball speed was near exact. Dummy passes.
But that's 3.4. That's nearly 0.5 of a sec. Well, that's even 13 seconds slower.
Then what?
Oh, 3 point. Sorry.
I was like, what?
My dyslexia got the best of me. I read 4.3. Hey, sorry guys. I don't know what I'm doing.
Thank you,
I
Jason.
might ask myself out.
Moving on. No.
So Raiders won the dummy passes there,
Yeah,
Cal.
well, that's why they won the game.
You've got to.
You've got to do the
doing
dummies.
your dummies.
And just missed tackles, 39 to the Knights, even though they're one of the best defensive teams this year. They do have a few injuries, the Knights. Ponga's gone for quite some time.
Yep.
Lewis Frank injury.
I really don't know what they're going to do with Adam O'Brien. I'd be surprised if he's there next year. I'm surprised he's there now, but...
with Brown coming, I was going to say, with Brown coming, they got to get rid of him
Surely.
and give a new coach the whole preseason.
Surely.
Yeah.
Don't let him play 2 weeks and then try and bring someone in.
No.
Give someone the whole preseason.
Never works.
Like,
Never works.
O'Brien hasn't cut it. We know he's had enough chance with this roster.
Yes.
Let him go.
All right, next game on Saturday afternoon. Broncos 26-12. Cal, you went to this game.
To Warriors.
Yeah, I took the family to this. Took the
Yeah.
kids to their first ever footy game. 44,000 people there. Great experience. Kids loved it. They were into it. Their attention span's only marginally bigger than mine. So they had trouble sitting there, which I did too. But no, it was really good. The Broncos have turned a corner. They're 3 straight. And they've dusted off a couple of decent teams now too. So the Warriors, look, they've come back down to earth. I think the start of the year that they had was phenomenal. They've had a really good run. They're starting to get a couple of injuries now. Barnett's out. Metcalf's now gone.
Well, he was playing
Chance
with
is-
injury last week. Now he's out.
Chance is gone too.
for 2 weeks.
But even before that, like even their game last week against the Panthers, you can tell the Warriors are coming back down to earth. If there's one team that's going to drop out of the top 4, I think it might potentially be the...
And if it was one team they couldn't do without their halfback,
Yeah.
they're just not good enough side to compete without Metcalf. And Barnett, obviously. Barnett's a great player. Blues missed him as well.
Look at that.
23 dummies to the Broncos. I'm telling you, if you want to win,
You got a dummy.
you got to rip out
3
these
to the
dummies.
Warriors for those playing at home.
3. Warriors. What are you
Okay,
doing?
this is not me hating the Broncos.
Yes, it is.
No.
If you got to say it,
It's not. Like,
let's kick him out, Jim.
okay.
For those wanting to miss the Broncos rant, just tune over to another channel at the moment. Come back in about 2 minutes.
I must admit, the Broncos did play well. But over the last couple of weeks, they played like the Warriors. They were absolutely terrible in that first half. And the scoreline in this game doesn't show how close the game was in the end. Like, Broncos scored a couple of late tries.
What?
And then in the Sharks game, the
Don't
Sharks
bring that up.
the
Why
Sharks
let
were
that go?
absolutely diabolical.
The Sharks were winning at the 60-minute mark.
What are you
They
talking
were
about?
amazing.
It was 28-12 to the Sharks.
The Sharks were amazing until they weren't.
But in the second half, they were diabolical.
Not the second half.
Second half of the second half.
No, don't seize my chance.
So,
Okay, the last 20 minutes they gave the Broncos the game.
So
That's
what I'm
you're trying
saying
to
about the Broncos is that I'll be more interested to see how they go against a team that can play 80 minutes, because the 12 points that they gave up Um,
Well, they don't get to see
was
us
flimsy
this week.
Hang on.
defence.
Firstly, you're wrong, because you said they scored a couple of late tries. They scored 3 tries within 39 minutes and then scored 1 try in the 75th minute. They were in full control of this game from the start to the end, the Bronx.
Yeah,
They had
but-
full control. And the proof, possession 54 to 46%, completion 85 to 74%. Let's go down to missed tackles.
They would die.
17 to 36.
Yeah.
Would
the
you say
Broncos-
the-
that's big.
Would you say the Warriors were bad in that first half?
They weren't diabolical. They weren't Cowboys or Titans,
Yeah.
but they were
pretty
still.
average.
And that penalty that the Broncos got, and I think it was Reece Walsh, he must have been 2 metres offside. And who gets the penalty? The Broncos. And that was an
That's not-
8-point difference.
How is that the Broncos' fault?
No. But
That's a referee blunder.
yeah, giving that's obviously getting a back pocket deal from them.
All right, I think you're biased against the
Who
Broncos.
was this fire up when
It's
the Blues
Stephen-
lost the penalty count?
Is
Jet?
stepping up here.
All right, the Broncos.
They're 3 in a row.
As much as
They're
our
playing good.
feelings
They
are
were-
done, the
oh,
Broncos
just
won the
be-
game. They won the week before.
Oh, they're three on the
All
top.
you can do
They're
is
in
beat
fifth.
the teams that fall down beside you.
They're in 5th
For
for a reason.
They're in 5th. They won't be there long because Sharks are in 5th, but that's all right.
Sharks are in
Yeah.
fifth.
Look, Warriors look
We've
dangerous.
still
in
we've
that
still
second
won
half.
8 games. We've
Yeah.
won more than most.
Yeah.
All right, the next bludger of a game was the Dargons playing the Eels. The Dargons seem to be winning at home at the moment quite convincingly. Like winning, not being convincing.
This was close to the last. The Eels had that controversial Josh Adokar. If that gets allowed, the score's a level.
And they could have,
They could have
Well,
leveled the
yeah.
game.
They came out yesterday and said that his foot was definitely on.
Can I
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
just
out.
It was
Yeah,
out.
it was out.
Yeah.
Everyone.
I just love a touchy having a go.
Yeah.
There was 2 more tries on the weekend where it was evident that the foot was on the line. The touch judge was standing. You know how they stand there like this,
Yeah.
watching it, and then we had to go upstairs. All the players are at the 20-meter line. Like everyone knows what's going on, but they're standing there.
Okay.
Oh, it just
Yeah.
kills me.
How would you feel
Make a
though
call.
if Adokar was in, right, and the touchy put his flag up, and the current rules is that you've got to go with the touchy call. You can't go to the video.
Make
ref.
a call. Let him do it. No way. I am backing it.
But
Or don't get paid.
yeah.
I see what you're
Like,
saying,
do a
Jen.
job.
You're
Yeah.
like, if that was my team and the ref touchy called it out when it wasn't out, I'd be fuming.
Yes.
You'd be fuming, but
Especially when he
let
had,
him have a
I guess,
go.
especially when he had the opportunity to let the try play out, knowing that the bunker was going to go back and check it anyway.
Yeah.
So there is that.
Yeah.
But
Because
what-
you've got to go
well,
with
what-
that touchy
yeah.
call. You can't go to the video.
Again, then why do they exist?
And you're right, I see your point of view. I'm like, I back the touchy
Yeah.
for making a call, but if he gets it wrong, then we're all sitting here going,
How do you
yeah,
know
one
that?
job.
How
It's,
do you even
it's
make-
just like anything. You get it wrong.
He must have X-ray.
And that's the thing, we got to become okay with these guys getting...
Mind you, he made that call and someone fell down in front of him.
Yeah. How did he make
So
it?
I don't know how he saw
The
it.
harder thing is when the bunker who are watching it in slow-mo make wrong decisions. That's what
Yeah.
we all can't stand.
So 10 dummy passes for the
To
Dargons
8.
to 8.
So far, I think we're
so-
100% for
Yeah.
whoever wants
Except for
it.
that draw,
Except for the draw.
15-15
But
draw.
still, that goes to...
But yeah, good job, Dragons.
It was a bit of a bludgeon.
Next
that
game. What was the next one? Dolphins versus Rabbitohs. This was a
Okay.
good game.
It's turning into who would like to get 50 points put on them this week.
The Rabbitohs were looking good though for a bit of it.
Because that's what the Dolphins are doing. Who's playing the Dolphins this week? Because you may as well just turn up expecting.
Did you
50,
see that?
don't you?
Did you
But,
see that
but
try?
Newcastle stopped them last week.
Did you see the try that Latrell assisted? Won?
Yes, I did.
So good.
I went back. I didn't watch this game, but I went back and watched that.
Watch the highlights.
Um,
Latrell's done sort of like a mini line break sort of thing. He's tackled. He's in midair, and I think it was this way. This way. He's flicked the ball up like this as he's falling, widen straight through, scored a try. But Dolphins too good in the end.
Hammer some really good tries. 4 tries. Yeah,
Only his 100th game,
100th game.
and he breaks up with Jamie Chapman.
Oh, did he?
Oh,
Yesterday.
yeah, he broke it up.
Oh.
Jamie Chapman, Blues winger for NRLW,
Yeah.
Titans winger.
Just for the last
yeah.
Origin game, or like
No, broke
Yeah.
permanently?
yesterday. It's
Well,
been all through the
it's
news
Origin
for 2
related.
days.
Oh, I don't.
Well,
Yeah,
Jamie,
sad.
hear those
Jamie,
things.
since
Jamie.
you're single, I'm single.
She might
Call
need
me.
a rebound, man. I don't know if you're
This is not a dating
type,
podcast, Jeff.
though. You're wearing the wrong jersey.
Dummy,
We know she watches too. Hey, just don't worry about that. You keep watching, keep subscribing.
Dummy passes 17-9 to the
17
Dolphins, which is
dummies.
why they won.
So that's
obviously.
that, and all those were Katoa. Every single one, double pumps.
Can we just... he doesn't need much longer, but just 10 seconds of appreciation for Isaiah Katoa right now.
Champion.
Did you see that try where he got the ball, he slowed down to a walk,
And then sped up.
then sped
and
up,
slowed
then
down.
slowed down.
Oh.
And it's like, I know you sit there and you watch it and you go, yeah, I can do that. No, you can't. You can't do that. That's pure talent.
He's probably one of the only players that I watch and go, there
He's-
is just no way.
His deception
Oh.
as a playmaker.
So good.
We are literally, and we've heard this a few times in the media, but we are literally watching a superstar evolve. Because you know most superstars, like they get to the end of their career and you're like he's a superstar. We are watching one evolve right in front of our eyes.
He's small. I hope he doesn't get Reece Walshed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I hope he doesn't start getting
Or
absolutely
injuries.
smashed.
Yeah.
And it hasn't happened yet, so I don't know.
I think Reece gets smashed because of his game style. Because Reece attacks the line. He injects himself a lot.
Yeah, but so does Katoa. Katoa
Yeah,
runs through.
Yeah.
He's made
Yeah,
quite a few
I don't
line
know.
breaks.
I think it's
Katoa's a bit more
slightly
deceptive.
Slightly different because
And Reece Walsh is a fullback too, so he does get more
Do you remember?
opportunities.
Do you remember
to
Carmichael
smash.
Hunt and how
Oh,
hard
Carmichael Mitty.
how hard he used to run
Yeah.
when he would catch it at fullback,
And then he'd do that big.
He'd just go back fence straight
Yeah.
into him and would always get up every time,
Yeah.
no matter how hard.
last I heard he was coaching Queensland Reds
Also,
or assistant
No,
coaching.
I thought he was,
Assistant coaching. Or was he playing?
no. I thought he
we're
was
not skipping this
in
one.
front of the
guys.
Queensland Cup side.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I thought he was
Storm
Going for a walk.
smashed the Sharks 30-6. Jace, what happened?
Well, Fitzgibbon can't coach.
Where do we
I'm
start?
Coming out to say it.
Oh,
Coming out to say it.
breaking news.
I think we've said that about all of our teams.
He, well, I back Fitzy, but this game was just stupid. Nico was crap. Why he was doing the first two kicks, I don't know. Kennedy, long term, big dropper of Kennedy. Katoa comes through. He doesn't even try and catch the ball. He lets Katoa catch it, thinking, I don't know if he's thinking I'm going to tackle him, but he's definitely not.
The game
And
plan
then-
for Melbourne was put the bomb up for Katoa. He'll catch it, and then the Sharks were just like,
And the Sharks
yeah.
like, oh, let's watch Melbourne's
for it.
game plan. It was just, I was just not happy.
Do you want to know a concerning stat for you guys, Jace?
Oh, don't tell me we had no dummies.
You've only won
3 dummies!
23 to
Oh!
3, but also you're 1 from 8 against top 8 teams this year. So that reoccurring each year.
That one
stat
was
that
the
keeps-
Storm.
and that's a great win. But you're 1 from 8, and you've leaked 30 points again. You're entering Cowboys and Titans territory.
I would like to
relegation
say,
territory.
although the one thing that I will say is that there was only 2 things that sort of let us down that we could fix up. We could put a decent fullback in. We could move Nico there, a bit of size.
Fitzy came out and said, Nico,
yeah, I
when
know.
you going to fullback.
That's why
that
Fitzy
That
needs
was
to.
3 years ago.
That's why Fitzy needs to get dropped.
If only you had a guy that was trained and did his apprenticeship as a fullback to go into fullback.
Yeah.
Against Melbourne, yeah. But I think apart from that, we weren't. I know that it's 36, but we weren't outplayed the whole game. Like it wasn't
It was
like
close to about 60.
we were defending well. Like those tries were
the defense
60,
was good.
70. That's 60 and 70, 3 tries. So it was only 2 tries to 1 right up to the 65th minute.
Yeah.
That one try was very lucky, but
I think holistically looking at the Sharks right now, you're on a bit of a
trouble.
bit of a slide down
Bit
the
of a-
line.
there are
slide.
ways to fix it, and I think
There's ways to
we're
fix every
missing
team, Jace.
we're missing Hero too. We're missing Hero and missing Talakai on the bench. So if we could just find a centre somewhere, Is there a team that aren't doing well that want to give us a centre?
Titans.
Who you got? No, we don't want Kelly.
Well, that brings us on to the next game. Well, Kelly's been called in the extended Blues bench. I don't know why.
Jason told me that on the way. I'm like,
if there's someone that can't coach more than Adam O'Brien, it's Laurie Daly.
Is there two Brian Kellys in the NRL that I don't know about? How is he? That's worse than. Oh, I won't say that. But that's just nuts.
But Brian is a great player.
Absolutely.
I don't know what it is about his
dumb.
game, whether it's just brain snaps or a trust issue with his centre, or if he's centre and his wing. He's a good player. He runs hard. He's solid.
He's got skill. He's got no
errors.
brain.
He's just got errors.
No.
Titans.
Okay, so
no.
Cowboys 30, Titans 24, and we're shooting straight down to the dummy passes stat. Matt, do you want to read out how many dummy passes?
So
the
Cowboys
Titans,
had 3,
which is pathetic,
and Titans had 0.
Zero.
They
This
didn't
is
even
why
try.
they're on the bottom of the ladder. These
Look,
two teams.
it was pouring rain, so it's probably the reason why.
It was
No,
raining.
that's even more reason to
Lots
throw a
of it.
dummy and
Has it?
run.
Oh right.
How many errors?
Dummy and go.
There seemed to be a ton of errors.
Do we want to look at that?
10 and 15.
15 to the Cows.
So, look, Titans came back.
Yeah, good on
The
them.
Cowboys
nearly
tried
got
to let
there.
you win.
They
15
brought
errors.
out a platter and said, "Here you go. Would you like the win?"
And we tried our
And
darndest.
you said
And you still
no.
didn't. You gave it back to us, and we're like, "No, you have the win." And then you're like, "No, you have the win," and we're like, "We don't want the win."
Oh.
Like I was saying in our group chat, we are struggling with our 7. Tom Weaver is, in my own personal opinion, very overrated, and I don't think he should be NRL.
yeah, he's
he needs to go back to Q Cup for a while. But we don't have. He was diabolical. He did a 5th tackle kick and it went like 20 metres. Like, come on, I could kick it further than that, and I'm over 40 and old.
That's Nico level.
You're looking good for
But it
your
didn't
age.
even go up.
Did
it
it
just
go
went
out though? Did it go out?
No, it didn't
No,
go
it's
out.
not Nico then.
You're looking good for 40,
You know,
though, Matt.
Kieran is a great player, but he is getting
Old.
very close to the end of his career.
He's not a halfback.
He can't kick at the moment.
No.
He can't kick. Bo Firma had a couple of errors as well, which is uncharacteristic for him. Tino tried hard as always. AJ seemed to be a bit flat as well, even though he scored that try.
I just want to say, this doesn't wipe my fears about the Cowboys this year. This win, great, we gritted out 2 points, whatever. I am still disappointed in the Cowboys, and I still think we've got a lot of work. And the problem is that this just buys Todd and the team up there more time. No, they'll forget about us for a few weeks now because we've got one win out of the way. We're up in North Queensland, Origin time. No worries, got a few excuses. No, put the pressure on. Come out and win this week. I can't even know who we're playing this week, but
Yeah. We'll go.
You want to win the spoon, though, don't you? You want to take
I
the
don't want
spoon
to win the
off
spoon.
the
That's
Titans.
embarrassing, okay? But
else will you
something
make
needs to
spaghetti?
change, and for it to change, we can't just keep being mediocre. Doesn't force change. We have to be really bad. I think. We're in 12th at the moment. We're on 17 points. We're on equal amount of losses as the Dolphins. That's what I'm taking out of this. So, but I'm not. Finished watching the game like, yeah, cool, we won. But I wasn't that excited about it because it's just so much. We're so far away from where we should be.
And the Titans are only one win away from the West Tigers. Just so you know.
There's some hope. There's the light at the end of the tunnel, Matt.
Tigers could still get the wooden spoon. Now, if the Tigers do get the wooden spoon, what does that say about Benji?
He's gone. I think he's on. Even though they're saying he's safe, I think they've lost Galvin. They've lost De Silva. What prospects do they have? They're playing Appy in the wrong positions and it's failing. Yeah, they've got injuries. Twal hasn't even scored a try this year.
Do you know what that is? That's Robbie Farah. He's just copied when Robbie Farah had to go from hooker to 7. That's not any coaching or anything. He's just copied when they used to do that. And Appy is not Robbie Farah.
Quick poll: who gets sacked first? Des Hasler, O'Brien, or Benji Marshall?
O'Brien, because he's got a better team.
O'Brien. Des, they won't get rid of Des.
Hasn't his clause? Doesn't he have to finish top 8 and then he's or he's got to finish above top 12? And he's
No,
gone?
they'll give him till probably this time next year. First 10 to 12 rounds next year, and then they'll flog him off.
Fair enough.
So,
Well, quickly, just
like
that.
we've still got tons of injuries. Like Dave Fafita is out. JC's out. Should be back.
Kenny.
The Groot's out.
Gordon.
Keanu Kinney's out.
Carter Gordon.
Khan Pereira got dropped.
I was thinking Michael Gordon.
Michael Gordon. Yeah.
The problem is, Matt, is that this has been your excuse.
Carter Gordon, who we haven't even used yet.
Never
But this has
played.
been your excuse for the last 4 years about the Titans, and I think that's Titans fans are getting sick of excuses year in year out.
Well,
everyone was like, "Oh, Des is in. This is going to turn the
Tell
club
them to
around."
stop getting injured all the time.
Yeah, but every club's got injuries. You look at the Roosters and the Rabbitohs injury
So
list right now.
the Rabbitohs have
Incredible injury
almost
list.
60 games without top injured players. And they're doing well. So anyway, I'm not saying...
Rabbitohs, who are in 16th.
Yeah, but they've
But
won.
I'm saying they've done really well.
They're doing pretty well. They've won 6 compared to the Titans 4.
All right, I made that up. So there's been a shift in the ladder.
There has been, yeah. So the Raiders are to the top.
Go
And
the milk.
Here's the thing: they're on equal points with the Dogs, but they've only had 1 bye. So they're actually 2 wins ahead of the Dogs. And they're not even playing this week. Sorry, they are playing this week. They don't have a bye this week as well. So the Raiders should be celebrated.
2 buys and a soft draw coming up.
The next team that has played 16 games, like the Raiders, is the Dolphins, and they're in 8th. So the Raiders, man, Ricky's doing something down there in the capital.
It's brewing.
Yeah, it's a lot
brewing.
different to what you said on previous podcasts.
What did I say?
That how Ricky has lasted that long in Canberra. I believe you have said that.
Yeah, but that's testament to his coaching ability.
But he also said last year, this
Yeah.
is a young team and we're rebuilding.
I-
Remember last year when
Yeah,
they
I
were...
said that as an excuse
Yeah,
before
exactly.
he got
Well,
knocked out.
this trust in this.
I
trust
like
in
Ricky.
the Ricky.
I think Ricky's great.
His podcast, his
In
press
Ricky we
conference the
trust.
other week was interesting. He said, because they said, "Oh, how are you going to go with the hype now that you're first?" And he goes, "We didn't listen to anyone when they told us we were crap at the start of the year, and we're not listening to them now."
He's the king of underdogs.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I remember
oh.
talking to Ricky about 5,
Really?
6 years ago
Oh,
for
really?
about 10 minutes.
It's your dad.
Yeah. He's one of those blokes you could easily have a beer with.
Okay. Thanks, Jed. Thanks for that piece of information. Pretty sure most of these guys you can have a beer
No,
with.
Dad. So here we go. The top 4 is the same, but it's switcheroo. So we've got Raiders, Dogs, Storm have moved up to 3rd, and the Warriors are in 4th. The Sharks are no longer 5th, just for those
They're
playing
down
at home.
in, where are they, Jose?
10th, but we have won the same amount of games as 5th, which just says we've got a crap for and against.
Cool.
That's
Cool.
All, that's all that matters.
All right, let's take a break and we'll get on to our predictions and then we'll let these good people go and have their dinner. All right, we got a short week this
Yes.
week for Origin. So the first game is the Dogs versus Broncos. This will be a good test for the Broncos.
Although Origin plays out, Reece Walsh out for the Broncos, Crichton and Haas and Carrigan. Crichton, Carraz is 18th man. They must be fuming, the Dogs, having all these 18th man players. Max King out. So I don't think this game actually tells us anything, except for someone needs to win.
It's interesting that no, it's not interesting. Don't worry about that. I was just going to say that the
And
Dogs
the
are
Dogs.
favourites, but they should be favourites.
And they're second. Yep.
I think I'll go the Dogs in Sydney. Yeah.
I think Reece Walsh hurts the Broncos, and Haas and Carrigan more than
and
Crichton.
Shibasaki.
And...
Oh,
You love
actually,
it, mate.
yeah.
Oh, Shiba's out.
Shiba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might
Shivers, I
go
didn't think of
Broncos.
that.
What?
You got what?
Yeah, I don't
You
know.
hate the Broncos. Did you not listen to yourself about 20
Let's
minutes
go,
ago?
No,
Broncos.
just because I hate them
Doesn't
I'm
mean
not-
I won't tip them.
doesn't mean I might tip
I
them.
just want to be happy about it.
Doggies.
But my only thing is
Bro.
that Brisbane and Sydney concerns me.
Yeah, I'm going to go Dogs. I did say the Wires last week, though, so...
Yeah,
Means
so
nothing.
Dogs, Jed.
Broncos.
Dogs.
Dogs.
Yeah.
All right, and then the Raiders, first place, beat the Dragons on Saturday, 5:30 in Canberra. No Papa.
Milk.
Has the Dragons got any Origin players this year?
Holmes, their goal kicker.
Oh, Val. Yeah, Raiders for the win. Oh, and Lomax.
Milk.
Lomax. Oh, no, he's at the Eels now. I can't keep up.
Yeah, Raiders win.
Raiders.
I'm going to go Dragons because they got the future halfback Kyle Flanagan for New South Wales.
You,
Gee, he was good on the weekend, wasn't
you
he?
need to put these tips
Gee,
into
he
your
did
actual
well.
He does. That's why he's down the bottom.
Oh, right, yeah, that makes sense.
Come join me at the top,
Oh, we
Jeff.
got the
Just
Storm.
copy mine.
And they still got a good team.
All right,
too.
then the Storm are playing the Cowboys in Townsville.
This is going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah, could be.
They brought Duffy in this time, the Cowboys, in the halves, and they've left Purdue out in number 3. So they're mixing it up a little bit.
Storm.
Not going to help.
Storm.
Not going to help.
The only
Well, no Munster, no Harry Grant.
yeah.
Who else is out of the Storm?
No Tom Dearden, no Nanai, no Cotter, no Robson.
How do you have
Yeah,
all
okay.
people playing
There
Origin?
you go.
What about Tamalolo? Is he back yet? Or is he
No,
still
he's
out?
not back.
Oh, Storm for
Still
the
not
win.
back.
This could be closer than what you think.
Why,
Oh,
Jed? Based on what? Why?
players
What are you
that the-
saying that based on?
60
The players
to
that
6.
everyone's missing, but yeah, the Storm will still win.
The players we are missing mean more to us than the players that the Storm are missing.
Yeah.
They've still got Jerome, Paps.
You
and
got
stuff.
Bateman back.
Oh,
Oh,
Hey?
Bateman. Okay.
All right, the
Storm.
West Tigers taking on the Roosters on your Saturday afternoon game.
Sunday.
All Sunday, sorry, that's what that word says. Yeah, Tigers. Tigers for the upset.
Roosters.
No, Roosters.
No Jerome Luai.
Roosters for the win.
No De Silva.
Why am I wearing a Tigers jersey?
No Teddy. Teddy's out. Teddy got called up to the Blues.
What?
Yeah, he
no, I'm
did.
just kidding.
Yeah, late inclusion. No.
Better not be. He's in my Supercoach
No,
team.
Roosters for the win, I think,
Roosters.
easily.
Go on, Tigers.
And then 4:05 Sunday afternoon, the Manly Seagulls versus the South Sydney Rabbits.
Manly with
Manly.
no Origin stars missing.
I can't be bothered watching
Rabbits
this game.
with Latrell missing.
You, at 4 Points Park, I'm going to have to go Manly.
It doesn't matter what happens. This is going to be a crap game.
Yeah.
Like,
Could
really?
be.
Like,
I
if
might-
you're watching this game, you've got better things to be
I
doing
might
in your
watch
life.
Gardening Australia instead of this game.
but like,
Manly
it must be-
for the win.
Good show, by
I'll
the way.
watch it. Manly had
But,
enough of the second half last week to do something.
The good
Yeah.
news is,
All-
Jed, this
Yeah.
is your 4 p.m. Channel 9 game.
Yeah, like, why?
Although, does Whiten move into the halves?
Like,
Whiten
why?
in the halves looked good the other week that he was in
Yeah,
there.
Whiten's playing 5'8".
Is
Yep.
he?
So that looked good. Cody Walker's out though. I
Yep.
think he's done his hammy.
Again.
So
Yeah.
it's Humphreys and
Whiten.
Whiten.
Alex
So
Johnson.
really, they're only
Uh,
missing Latrell. at
Jai
fullback.
Gray's back at fullback.
No, Alex Johnson.
Alex Johnson's at fullback.
Oh,
Yeah.
Alex Johnson.
And
I
even
think Rabbitohs. They might stand up.
It's at
Yeah.
4 Points Park. It's in Manly. If you win in Manly, they murder you on the way out.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Pretty rough in Manly.
even Carl, to finish you off, like even with the
Allegedly. murder you. Sorry.
like with the Bulldogs and Broncos game, why are we playing that during Origin week when all the players are out? Like, I just don't.
Yeah,
get
that
it.
should be a full strength. Versus
Yeah,
full strength.
like-
I agree with that.
That I agree with you, Jed, for that one. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's how the
That's what
cookie
Peter
crumbles.
said to do. That's what Mr. Valandi said, Jed.
All right.
Crumbles.
Dolphins, Eels, Knights, Panthers, Sharks, Titans, Warriors all have
Yeah.
five.
Again.
2 points.
Yes.
Can I say the Sharks really need a player?
Yeah.
We have struggled the last 4 weeks, and I think.
Buy your way out of
So
competition.
can I? Oh, that's going to be my really quick controversy as we
Oh,
finish.
yeah.
This is what I want you to think about. Should a team have had 2 buys before a team has had 1?
Well, there's teams that have had
Because that's
3.
what happened to the
Yeah.
Sharks.
Yeah.
Teams have had 3 buys and we've only had
And there's
1.
still a couple of teams that have had
And
1.
we are feeling that. It might be to our advantage later on, but have a think about that at home. While you're thinking about it, hit subscribe, hit like, share it with your friends, share it with your enemies, share it with somebody if you don't have either of those. Thanks for tuning in and have a good life.
That's
See you guys.